for joining us at the Raw Business Conversation. This is Sherry Kondo. This is my beautiful friend Lorena Moreno. And we are in her salon today at Novak Salons, right? And your business is Salon Grace.
Yes.
I love it. We are in the beautiful town of Fort Worth, and Miss Lorena is a native of Fort Worth, which I always feel like when I meet natives of Dallas or Fort Worth, you're like one of 10, right? Because everybody's from everywhere else. There's a million people from everywhere else, and so native Fort Worthian. Maybe. I don't know if that's the right thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's right.
Fort Worthian. Very good. So we're going to talk to you today about her business and what brought her to the industry of hair and beauty, and just kind of get an idea of where she's been and how much she loves it. Welcome. You have been you started doing hair in 2005.
Yes, I graduated, yes.
Graduated.
Cosmetology school, and then just immediately started doing hair.
Excellent.
What we call
Excellent.
kitchen hair.
Oh, what does that mean?
I just would go to people's houses and do their hair.
Okay, okay. And so at what point did you actually get into a salon?
Well, immediately after that, I moved to California with my aunt.
Okay.
And thought I was gonna work there and live there forever, and then worked in a salon with her. She owns a salon there, and then ever since then, yeah.
Nice.
So it was 2006.
Got it.
Is when I went.
Okay. And then California didn't take the bait. You came back.
No, yeah. Three months, came back to Fort Worth
There you
because I love Fort Worth.
Because who doesn't love Texas? If you're in Texas, you know. So anyway, good, awesome. And then somewhere along the way, you started working internationally, doing color, and then teaching color.
Yes, teaching.
I love it. And every time I see you, you have new color.
Yes.
Yes.
Orange is my favorite.
Orange is the favorite. What would I do? Pink?
I could go for some blue with you.
Oh, blue. Okay, people, stay tuned. You might see blue in the future. We'll see.
Match your eyes.
I love it. Oh, yeah, that's true. Good. Okay, so tell me what brought you to cosmetology? You're in school. You probably graduated high school 2003, 2004. And then you went right into cosmetology.
Well, I was actually supposed to graduate in 2005, but I kept dropping out of high school, honestly.
Okay.
And so I went to get my GED, and then the teachers there wanted me to have a plan, an action plan for after. I guess I was high risk, is what they call it.
Okay. Right.
And so they got me to research cosmetology, and I actually graduated cosmetology. I graduated cosmetology when I was supposed to be graduating high school.
Okay.
So I was a step ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went from dropping out and probably
Yes.
being behind
Yes.
to a step ahead.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes.
I love that. Good. And so what brought you to that? So you're in school and, excuse me, you're considered high risk. And so they're kind of funneling you to something
Yes.
that could give you, maybe hopefully give you a future.
Yes. So actually, and I say it all the time, the thing that made me choose cosmetology was honestly none other than it was the shortest amount of schooling, because I was not a fan of school.
Okay, you're right.
At the point.
Sure, sure. I think a lot of people can appreciate that. that what can I do quickly and get through it and get on with life than continuing on with 4 or 6 years. Were there other options other than cosmetology? What were they talking to you about?
That was really just, they had us research just different things, and I did have to research cosmetology, and I saw that it was short school, and I saw that really your income, what it said is this industry will give you what you put into it.
Okay.
And so the income was, basically up in the air. I could make a lot of money, I could make no money, and I've been both.
Okay. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Welcome to self-employment, right?
Yes.
Self-business.
So true.
So were you always girly? Were you always hoity-toity, floofy, whatever the words are? Were you always in front of the mirror doing things?
Yes. So
this fits.
It's so funny that you say girly because that's what my family calls me.
Oh.
Like that's like a nickname that my family calls me. And I was always in school doing my makeup instead of doing the work during class. And so I guess I was meant for it.
Meant for it. Or you were always practicing.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. I love it. Good. Awesome. So then education to get here, GED and cosmetology school. And then is there continuing education from there? And then what did you have to do to become like a color specialist?
Okay, so yes, we do have continuing education, and we can go to several different classes a year just to perfect our craft. And honestly, like for a really long part of my career, I didn't even know anything about all this stuff that was out there. I was just kind of like, I don't know, in this bubble under really bad leadership. And so, yeah, it wasn't until literally God said to go and become a cosmetology instructor. And I was like, really, God? I dropped out of school. You know, I failed the 9th grade 3 times, and this is what you want. And so I went, and that's where I discovered my passion for learning the industry and helping others. And so it was at the point where I got to help other people learn it is when I really learned it more and got better at it.
Right.
And then that's when I went in and became an instructor, and then I got a job with the international color company Pravana.
Okay.
And that was just amazing. I got to be around people who were inspired and good leadership.
Nice.
And that's when I really saw the industry, and that's when my career really shifted.
Okay. Very nice. The education, we'll go back to that for just a second. That is run by the state of Texas, right? Under, like they,
yes.
your licensure
TDLR.
and stuff.
Yes, we are required to get 6 hours of continued education every 2 years.
Got it.
But
To
you can
keep
get
your
this-
license
yes, just to
going.
keep it going.
Right. So one of the things that I talk about is, and I think anybody who talks about being positive or moving forward in your dreams also then talks about what I call the drunk uncle. And that is, right? That's the person in the, right, exactly. They show up at weddings, they ruin things, but mostly they have like this voice in the back of your head that you listen to because it's a familiar, trusted voice, and yet their words are hurtful. Like, what are you thinking? You can't possibly go be an instructor. You failed the 9th grade 3 times, right? So you weren't even a good student, much less than go be an instructor, right? Yes. And so I reference that because we do talk about that negative voice in your head. So at that moment, you've got the drunk uncle that is a familiar voice who you've probably trusted a time or two to say, yeah, I won't do that. I'm not going to step out because this is my past. And then God says, go do this. Yeah. And you're like, but you know I have this voice, right? So how do you get past that? How did you move on past that voice? Did you just step into it? What did it take for you?
Honestly, so the thing was, I used to be on a lot of government assisting, and I was not making it in the industry at all. I was not making enough money to feed my son. And it was when I was in this class that I had to do to continue to get insurance for him. And God's voice, clear as day, that was the first thing I ever heard God clearly say to me was to go be an instructor. So I said, okay, God, I'm going, because I don't want to be in this room with, this situation for the rest of my life. I want my son to have a better future.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I went into cosmetology school, it was just confirmation after confirmation from God with the relationship I had with these students, to encourage them, even from a place where He hadn't even built me up to be the encourager that I am now. Okay. But I was still doing it from that place of fear,
yes,
helping others, and that's truly what helped.
Just true. Just got through it.
Yeah.
Because it was expected of you. So when you rose to the occasion, then it starts becoming a part of you.
Yes.
That's
and then
fantastic.
Sorry.
No.
So then also the thing for me was when I would see students get it, their light bulb would turn on, and their confidence was like, oh, I can't do it. And I would watch them do it, and they would be like, oh my gosh, I did it. And that for me was what kept me wanting to continue to do it, to help them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Ah, that's so amazing. God is good at this, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
He's
good.
really
It's
good.
him.
Really good at knowing what will move us to the next level and push us forward. Oh my gosh, that's so good. So you start cosmetology school out of this class that is for at-risk, high
Yes.
risk, right? So
Wow.
where does the money come from for you to go take the class to, and cosmetology is 18 months, 24 months? Tell me about that real quick.
No, cosmetology is 9 months.
Okay,
if
9
you're going
months.
full time.
Okay.
For the cosmetology instructor, it was a 7-month program, and I was doing that.
Okay. So where does the money come from when you're coming out of school and you have a job or don't have a job, right? You have a son, right? And you have to commit full time to going to more school to be able to earn the income. Where does the financing come from at that point?
Okay, so I was in the salon, so I was working at the salon, and I
Okay.
was just paying for things myself.
Okay.
My parents were a really big support system with watching my son.
Excellent.
So I didn't have to pay for daycare.
Yes.
So everything was just pretty much provided. I did get a loan, a small loan for cosmetology to go be an instructor, but quickly paid that off because the payoff was great.
Yeah, very good. So now you have your own space in a beautiful facility, which we'll put in some videos of this facility. It's so beautiful, and your space is so sweet. I love it. Wood wall is so cute. You'll see it in a minute. But now, as you've advanced, and now you're even hiring people, you're building a team, you have some goals, which we'll talk about later towards the end. How are you financing it at this point?
At this point,
Yep.
so at this point, honestly, so when I went to be the instructor and I went and worked for this color company, that was basically a third income for me. You know,
Okay.
I was teaching classes, I was getting paid from them. I was also doing my own classes, and I was also getting paid, you know, behind the chair. And so several different avenues in this industry that I can get money from to be able to push forward, and one thing pays for the other and things
Good.
like that.
Good. I love that because, of course, this video series is about looking at someone else's business and learning a lesson and learning from them. And so to hear someone say, I may have started with nothing, I was able to progress forward, and then look around the industry, where else can I make money in it? And that's so valuable. I think sometimes people get caught in one thing, and that's all there is.
Yes.
And there's more money to be made, right? There's more places to make money. And it's not going to get a second job at
No.
Starbucks.
No.
And derailing the you're in this vein, you're on this lane, and all of a sudden people go and do something over here, and now they've got like this crazy bipolar work situation going on, where maybe if you just open your mind up a little bit, you can find money in your own industry right in the same lane.
Yes.
So that you're
So
not
much.
off course,
Yep.
right? That's so good. Thank you so much. That's so good. So you've already seen a return on your investment then, of course, because you've worked along the way, you've been paying along the way, and you're earning a good income.
Yes.
Used not on government assistance
No,
any
ma'am.
longer. That's right. Not
Praise
living
Jesus.
at that's right. Thank you, Jesus. Not living at home with mom and dad. Living on your own, caring for your son,
Yes.
providing a good life. Carrying a Louis Vuitton bag. mind
Oh
you.
my God.
I love the Louis Vuitton bag.
That was a gift.
Just
That
write
was a
that
gift
down. No,
from
just
heaven.
write this down.
Yeah, write it down.
Everything's possible.
Exactly. Anything.
But it is possible. Everything
Yeah.
is possible. That's right. I love that. So good. So good. Thank you. How much free time does this industry give you? I know you're a single mom,
Yes.
so all weight is on you always.
Yes.
Right? You know, every little bit of it.
Yeah.
Shoes, all just everything. You
Yes.
know, most of you have children, so you know all the things. And when you do it alone with one income, it gets to be a little bit harder.
Yes.
So there's a pressure then to never miss a moment
Oh yeah.
of money making activity. We feel that in our business
sure.
too. If
Yes.
someone says, you know, hey, can you help us on this date? And I have a plan to go out of town. Suddenly I'm like, well, we can leave a little later.
Exactly. Yes.
I think
So true.
self-employed people feel that you just can't miss one moment of
No.
making money, right? And yet we have these other things to balance. We have children, family, parents, on and on. right? What?
Grandparents.
All of it. How do you balance, does your business allow you some free time, and how do you balance the family life in it?
So I would say last year was when my business started to really take a really big turn, and it was an adjustment. For sure, an adjustment from doing it all myself. There's a lot of resources, obviously. Online booking is one that really helped me, so that I wasn't answering text all the time.
Nice. Okay.
I would just answer them, and approve them whenever I needed to. But also, I was really bad at it last year. I was going and going and going, and in the summer, I would open my books from 8 to 8. And I would just all summer hustle is what we call it, right?
Yes, right. That's
and
right.
so about at the end of last year, God was truly like just revealing Himself to me, to who He truly is. And from the end of last year to the beginning of this year into this year, I've really learned what it is to rest and trust. And trust that He has taken, He's planned my entire life out for me. And He's revealing the steps by step to me. He's always steps ahead, right?
Yes,
He's the whole life ahead.
Yes, yes.
But, so it's been a struggle, but I feel like I finally have it.
Okay.
For now, there's different seasons.
Yes, yes.
But for now, I feel like I have done a really good job. I work less days behind the chair doing actual physical work on clients, and make more money than I ever have before.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just truly resting
Learning
and trusting.
to work with the flow, the ebb and flow of the business, and rest when you're supposed to. Work when you're supposed to. Don't feel like you're on always.
Yes.
Wow.
And I really feel like at this point in my career, I am taking my physical body more out and just immersing my mind into the business part of it, so that I can build people and they can work and I can kind of take a break. My body really can take a break from the industry, because it's pretty hard on your body.
I'm sure. Yeah, standing all day. And then your arms are up like this all day. No bat wings in your future, I would think.
Yeah, I hope not.
None of those old lady bat wings in her future.
Well, if I stop now.
That's funny. No, that's so good. That's such a good lesson, talking about understanding the place of rest. And we talk about it a lot in our church culture, understanding that place of rest, working from rest, not from hustle.
Yeah.
That really the hustle is the rest, and you'll hear more about that, I'm sure, along the way in our conversations. But even I can think back, one of my favorite sayings, I believe, from Zig Ziglar is that you have to slow down to speed back up.
Yep.
And it's the same concept, and that you have to stop to sharpen the saw. That, whatever you want to say, the ultimate thing is rest to work more.
Yes.
Maybe not even to work more, but probably to earn more. Because you come at it at a more rested place. You come at it more sharp. You come at it prepared better than if you're just constantly going.
Oh, yes, for sure. I see the difference now.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And one thing that I really love is that there's this revelation just this week was, our bodies will get old, but our minds can be renewed every single day. And so, I'm really enjoying the business part of it, and really just growing, in a way that's not going to cause me to be physically, behind the chair.
That's so good. So good. I love it. Build a team. Let them be behind the chair.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where we're
You can
at.
just teach them how to be behind the chair. That's good.
That is where we're at.
What is the most challenging part of your business, do you think?
Challenging, I would say definitely the physical challenge, but also as an artist, as a hairstylist.
This is so good.
Yeah, we're the artistic side of it. And
I wasn't thinking about the artist piece.
Yes.
Yes, good.
So it's very rare that you get a hybrid,
Right.
And, I speak to several stylists, and we're not the best at keeping our numbers. We're better at the creative, the personal, building relationships part of it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge that I faced.
Okay, managing the books.
Yes.
Managing the number piece. Yep. Wow. I think also, now that we talk about the artist piece, is that artists are doing it for the beauty of the art. Right?
Yes.
And so then sometimes even just drumming up the business can be difficult, because you're not driven in the way that yeah, like I've got to get clients in the chair. You do have to get clients in the chair in order to produce the art. But in the artist's mind, it's the art first,
Yes.
not the driven client first.
Yes.
How did you overcome that? How did you get that working for you?
Honestly, I've just been really, really blessed to have several coaches to help me. Yeah, I just literally asked God, I want help in this area or this area of my life, which is, the organization, planning, and numbers, which are all one.
Yes.
And it wasn't my first love. So he brought me someone who literally said to me, numbers are my first love.
Love
So,
that.
yeah.
I need to know that person.
I know, you should meet her. She might be here.
I think there's like 7 of those people in the world. The
Right.
numbers are their first love.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I don't
got
understand.
one. Yeah. And so truly just, being aware of like the people that I'm surrounded by, the older generation. I've been really, truly blessed with people who just sit in my chair. I just meet them because I love people and talk to everyone.
Yes.
To say, hey, this is what I do and let me help you. And, that's really how, like, the Lord brings them to my feet.
Yes, that's amazing. It's so good. I think we talked one time about you working, when you're working in your strengths, you are a 7 to 10 in
Yes,
something,
yes.
right? And then there's things that we are all 7 to 10s in, and then there's things that we are 1 to 3 in. And the statistics say that you can only better yourself by like 3 points.
Yeah.
So if I'm a 1 in something, the very best they could ever be is a 4. And that is exhausting.
Yes.
Just trying to better your absolute weakness. So if I can find someone who is a 7 to 10 in my weakness, yay!
Right.
I definitely want to be using that person in my life because they're loving the very thing that I could waste so much of my 7 to 10 ability time. I should be working all the time in what's 7 to 10 for me. That 1 to 3, let them do that.
Exactly.
Right? Because that takes up more of my time and way more of my energy.
For sure.
And you have felt the same when we've
Yes.
talked about it.
Yeah, you were definitely one of the people who, God brought to me to help me and give me like wise words. And you saying that, like, delegate. And so that's what I'm doing now, is delegating things and getting things off my shoulders so that I can truly, like, be in the business and not just, or working on the business and not just working in the business.
That is right. That is right. But not working in the business or working on the business in the things that you're not good at.
Yes.
You're still working on the business in your strength.
Yes.
Which is super, super important.
Yes.
That even if you're working on your business, let someone else work on the things that you're not good at.
Yes.
Go and be good at what you're good at.
Another thing I will say too, going back to what we said about the drunk uncle.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so the drunk uncle was telling me that I wasn't good at this certain part of it. And God, placed situations in my life where I had to be forced to get into some of them. I'm not going to say everything, but some of the things, as I was forced into them and ignoring the drunk uncle, I realized I developed a love for them.
Nice.
And so before I was like, I'm not smart enough. I can't do that. I might as well drop out,
Yes.
The numbers. But I really feel like I have fallen in love with a different side of my business just recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. That's so great. Yay. Oh, that's so good. I love it, love it, love it. What's the most rewarding thing in your business?
So most rewarding for sure is I'm such a people person, and so being able to encourage and give confidence to people who I see don't have it. And when you see your stylist, you sit down in the chair, they put a cape on you, you lose your neck, you're like, oh my gosh, I need Botox, I need this.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Every time I sit in the chair, I'm like, why am I here? I need to be doing something here.
Everyone says that. So for me to be able to say, you're
so
beautiful,
good. Oh
you're
my
gorgeous,
gosh.
you, like, what are you even here for?
Yes. Oh.
And also I really do love praying for my clients. That's my favorite part, I would say,
That's so good.
when I can pray for them, because we're also the counselors that the people come, the clients come and
Yes.
give all the information, all the business, and then I can encourage and pray over them. That's the most rewarding.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's so good. Yeah, so men will go to the bar and talk to the bartender as their counselor.
Yes.
Women go to the hairstylist.
Yes, so we
we go get our hair done so we feel good all over, right? Our hair's
Inside and
pretty.
out.
Right, our hair's pretty, and now we've talked to our counselor. And
Exactly.
just all those kinds of things.
Got some prayer.
That's amazing. Tell me your future. What goals do you have coming up?
Okay, so right now what I'm working on is building a team. I hired my first employee. It's so amazing how, I've been in this industry for 14 years, feeling like I really just stepped into it a couple years ago. And what's really encouraging is that it doesn't matter if you were doing whatever for 14 years and not making it, because God's time is different.
That's good.
And so I know that for the next 14 months, He's going to propel my business like I've never seen before.
That's awesome.
That the 14 years don't matter.
Yeah.
And so the goals that I'm working on is building a team. I honestly, at the moment, have 3 stylists in 1 position, so they're waiting.
Oh, wow.
I have some girls who are waiting.
My goodness.
And so my goal is to build my team here at Novak Hair Studios until I get a building, and then Salon Grace will have its own building where I can just continue to bring people in, encourage them, and have them working from a place of confidence behind the chair. I mean, I could see a 20-chair salon. Who knows? Whatever God has, in
I love
store.
it. I love that so much.
Yes.
That is so good. And I love what you just said, that even if you've done something for 14 years and maybe you've had moderate success, there is not a point that it's over, that it can be reignited.
No.
You can learn
It's never
something
too
new.
late.
You can step into something new. And all of a sudden, that this suddenly thing happens and you're right back in. And maybe you had success 14 years back, and then you think, well, that was then, and now it's over for me. And sometimes it just takes sharpening your saw again and getting right back, and a new future can begin. That is so good. Ah, thank you so much. Okay, so I like to ask the fun 5. Okay, here's our fun 5 questions.
Okay.
We're gonna ask them to everybody, and they're just fun things. Nothing spectacular about it.
Okay.
Here we go. Mints or gum?
Gum.
Gum. Any specific kind?
The biggest pack.
Oh, okay.
Whatever's the biggest.
The most for your money. Got it. All right. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Dog. Do you have a dog?
No. My son has been begging for one though.
Okay. Very good. Any kind of breed that you think you like?
No, I just prefer dogs over cats.
There you go. Get something that doesn't shed. I have 2 very large shedders. Oh my gosh, Lord Jesus, I wish I'd thought of that sooner. Anyway, sweet or savory?
Sweets for sure.
Sweets for sure. Cupcakes?
Yes, anything sweet.
Lord Jesus, help me with the cupcakes.
Yeah, I love
the
cake.
cake. That's the thing, right?
Cake.
Like hard candy, whatever. Drop a piece of cake down, I will crawl under the car to get it.
Yeah, same. Give me some cake.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Beach. Do you get there?
Yes, I love the beach so much. It's my favorite place.
Nice, mine too. Yes. Okay, what's your morning routine?
Morning routine. Okay, so my morning routine is I take these supplements, Arbonne supplements.
Okay.
I'm also a consultant for them. And so I do my nutrition first, digestion, hot tea, make my protein shake, get my energy ready for the day, makeup, and head out the door.
There you go. Get your son to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Making him go to school.
Yeah. Getting him there.
Yes, exactly.
It's a
We made
challenge
it.
on its own. Yes.
I remember. I do remember. That's so funny. Good. What encouraging thing would you say, this our very last question, if you were sitting before a new entrepreneur, they're just getting started, maybe not even in your industry, just any industry, what would you say to them about starting, about anything? Your encouraging word.
I really do feel like it goes back to what we were saying about it doesn't matter how old you are, what your background is, what your education is. That stuff doesn't matter, because His timing is not our timing. And, He believes the best about us when we believe the worst about ourselves. And so just knowing and resting in God that you're accepted and that you have a future, like that's what keeps me grounded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's so amazing. That's so good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on The Raw Business. And again, remember that in Proverbs 24:30, it says that I looked upon a man's field and I learned a lesson. And that's really what this is about, is that we can look at other people's space, their business, their life, and learn from that and take those seeds. You don't always have to walk the rough road yourself. You can listen to someone else's rough road and avoid some things. So we want to share that with you, and we thank you again for joining us, and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.